You know what's funny? People think lies are invisible. They think if they smile enough, if they say the right words, if they hide behind fake loyalty and pretty promises, nobody will ever notice. But then they meet someone like you. Someone who notices the hesitation in their voice, the mask behind their smile, the truth hidden between every word. And that's when fear begins. Because the greatest threat to a liar isn't strength. It's someone who can see. Someone who can't be manipulated. Someone who can't be fooled. Someone who sees through every game before it's even played. They don't hate you because you're wrong. They fear you because you expose what they desperately want to hide. And once people realize they can't control your mind, they start calling you dangerous. Good, because tonight, you'll understand why seeing the truth is a power very few possess, and why the world fears those who can see through every lie. You know what people misunderstand about truth? They think truth is loud. They think it arrives with sirens and confessions and dramatic moments where everybody suddenly admits who they really are. No, truth is quiet. Truth hides inside the little things nobody pays attention to. It's in the forced smile, the delayed response, the promises that sound too perfect, the compliments that feel rehearsed. Most people never notice because they're too busy believing what they want to believe. They want comfort. They want approval. They want the illusion. And illusions are easy to sell. That's why lies have always been profitable. People don't buy truth. Truth hurts. Truth destroys fantasies. Truth removes masks. And masks are precious, aren't they? Everybody wears one. The loyal friend who secretly envies you. The smiling coworker hoping you fail. The person who says they're happy for you while silently comparing themselves to your success. Funny thing is, they think nobody can see it. They think if they hide behind enough words, enough excuses, enough performances, they'll never be exposed. But human beings leak the truth. Always. No matter how carefully they hide it. Their eyes speak. Their energy changes. Their silence becomes louder than their words. And that's where hidden intentions reveal themselves. Not through what people say, through what they consistently do. Because words are actors. Actions don't know how to lie forever. See, manipulation depends on one thing. Blindness. If people can't see clearly, they're easy to control. Tell them what they want to hear. Give them hope. Feed their emotions. Promise loyalty. Promise forever. Promise anything. And they'll hand over their trust without asking questions. That's the game. It's always been the game. But games stop being fun when someone learns the rules. And that's why awareness scares people. Because awareness destroys performance. Once you start noticing patterns, you can't unsee them. Once you recognize fake concern, fake kindness becomes uncomfortable. Once you understand jealousy, compliments start sounding different. Once you understand manipulation, guilt stops working. And suddenly people become nervous around you. Not because you're dangerous, because you're observant. Because they know you see what others miss. You notice inconsistencies. You notice hidden motives. You notice when someone's words don't match their behavior. And behavior never lies. Never. People tell you who they are every single day, not with speeches, with habits, with reactions, with choices. But most people ignore the evidence because they love potential more than reality. They fall in love with promises. They trust appearances. They defend people who have shown them, over and over again, exactly who they are. Then they wonder why betrayal hurts. Betrayal isn't always sudden. Sometimes betrayal sends warnings months in advance. People just refuse to read them because reading them means accepting uncomfortable truths. And comfort is addictive. People would rather believe beautiful lies than painful realities. That's why deception survives. Not because lies are powerful, because denial is. And denial makes prisoners out of intelligent people. The truth? Hidden intentions are everywhere. Not everyone who claps for you supports you. Not everyone who stays close to you loves you. Not everyone who speaks kindly wishes you well. Some people study you. Some people use you. Some people tolerate you. Some people fear you. And some people smile while hoping life breaks you. Strange world, isn't it? Everybody wants honesty until honesty exposes them. Everybody praises truth until truth points at their mask. then suddenly you're the problem. Suddenly you're too intense, too observant, too suspicious, too hard to fool. Because people don't fear violence as much as they fear being seen. Being truly seen, not the character they created, not the image they protect, not the stories they tell. The real person underneath. And when hidden intentions are exposed, masks become useless. That's why some people get uncomfortable around those who pay attention. Because secrets love darkness. And awareness has a habit of turning on the lights. Funny thing about awareness. People think power belongs to the loudest person in the room, the strongest, the richest, the one with the biggest title. But power doesn't always scream. Sometimes it sits quietly, watching, listening, smiling, understanding. Because awareness is a strange weapon. Nobody notices it until it's too late. See, most people walk through life asleep. Not physically, mentally, emotionally. They react without thinking. Trust without questioning, follow without understanding. They repeat what they hear. They chase approval. They let emotions drive the wheel while their mind sits in the back seat. And that's exactly why they're easy to control. Fear controls them. Attention controls them. Praise controls them. Criticism controls them. A single opinion ruins their day. A little rejection destroys their confidence. One betrayal breaks their spirit. Because when you don't understand yourself, the world understands how to use you. That's the joke. People spend years trying to control others while having no control over themselves. They think being untouchable means nobody attacks you. No. People will always attack. Jealousy exists. Envy exists. Manipulation exists. Fake loyalty exists. But awareness changes something important. It changes your reactions. Because once you understand human nature, surprises become rare. You stop expecting honesty from dishonest people. You stop expecting loyalty from opportunists. You stop expecting maturity from immature minds. And suddenly disappointment loses its power. Because disappointment only hurts when expectations are alive. Awareness kills dangerous expectations. You see patterns. You notice motives. You recognize games before they begin. And when you recognize the game, you stop becoming part of it. That's why some people can never manipulate you twice. Not because you're stronger. Because you're awake. You notice guilt tactics. You notice emotional traps. You notice when somebody pretends to care only when they need something. You notice when praise turns into resentment. You notice when silence becomes punishment. You notice the hidden contracts people attach to their kindness. And once you see those things, you can't pretend anymore. You can't return to ignorance, because awareness changes your standards. It teaches you that peace is more valuable than attention, that distance is sometimes healthier than loyalty, that silence is often stronger than arguments. People hate that. They really do. Because manipulation depends on emotional reactions. They want anger. They want explanations. They want you confused. They want you chasing answers. But awareness makes you calm. And calm people are difficult to control. Very difficult. Because calm people don't panic. They observe. They don't beg. They decide. They don't fight every battle. They choose which battles deserve their energy. And nothing frustrates chaos more than someone who refuses to participate. That's why emotionally aware people seem mysterious. Not because they're hiding secrets. Because they're no longer available for every drama, every argument, every meaningless performance. People call them cold, arrogant, detached. Funny labels. Because what they're really describing is someone who finally understands their worth. Someone who no longer needs constant approval. Someone who stopped explaining themselves to people, committed to misunderstanding them. Someone who learned that not every accusation deserves a defense. Not every opinion deserves attention. Not every invitation deserves acceptance. And not everybody deserves access. Awareness teaches boundaries. And boundaries terrify selfish people. Because selfish people love unlimited access. Unlimited influence. Unlimited control. But awareness closes doors. Awareness asks questions. Awareness notices intentions. Awareness protects energy. And people become uncomfortable when they realize their old tricks no longer work. Because the version of you they controlled, the version they manipulated, the version that doubted itself, the version that apologized for everything, the version desperate for acceptance. That version disappeared, and now they're standing in front of someone who listens more than they speak, someone who notices more than they reveal, someone who understands that the greatest freedom in this world isn't having power over people. It's reaching a point where their games no longer have power over you. You know what's? People think fear comes from monsters, from violence, from chaos. No. Real fear comes from exposure, because secrets are comfortable, masks are comfortable, pretending is comfortable, and people become attached to comfort. They build entire lives around appearances, entire personalities around approval, entire relationships around performances. Everyone wants to be admired, everyone wants to be understood, but very few people want to be seen, actually seen, not the image, not the reputation, not the carefully edited version they present to the world. The truth underneath. Because the truth is messy. The truth has selfishness, jealousy, pride, insecurity, hidden motives, and people spend years decorating those things, hoping nobody notices what's behind the curtain. Funny, isn't it? Everybody talks about authenticity, but authenticity terrifies most people, because authenticity removes hiding places. And when someone enters your life who naturally sees beyond words, beyond smiles, beyond performances, something strange happens. People become uncomfortable, not because you've attacked them, not because you've threatened them, because your presence makes them aware of themselves. And awareness is painful. See, lies survive in darkness. Manipulation survives in confusion. Fake loyalty survives when nobody asks questions. But exposure destroys all of that. Exposure forces reality into the room, and reality has never been popular. People don't hate mirrors because mirrors lie. They hate mirrors because mirrors don't. That's why some people become nervous around you. Not everyone, but the ones hiding something, the ones living double lives, the ones pretending to support you while secretly competing with you, the ones who smile in public and criticize in private. The ones who offer kindness with invisible strings attached. Those people fear exposure, not because they fear losing you, because they fear losing control over the image they've created. And image is everything to certain people. They'll protect it at any cost, even if that means attacking the person who sees through them. You've probably noticed that. Funny how the truth teller often becomes the villain. Funny how the person asking questions becomes the problem. Funny how honesty suddenly becomes disrespect when it makes someone uncomfortable. Because people don't always want truth. They want comfort disguised as truth. They want agreement, validation, protection from consequences. They want the mask to survive. And when it doesn't, fear appears. Not loud fear, quiet fear. The kind hidden behind gossip, behind jealousy, behind strange behavior, behind fake concern. Behind unnecessary criticism, because people who fear exposure rarely confront it directly. They attack indirectly. They whisper. They judge. They project. They create stories. Anything to distract attention from themselves. Anything to protect the illusion, because illusions are addictive, and addicts become desperate when you threaten what they depend on. But here's the strange part. You don't even have to expose anyone. You don't have to reveal secrets. You don't have to fight. Sometimes simply observing is enough. Sometimes silence scares people more than accusations. Because guilty minds create their own prisons. They interpret your quietness as knowledge, your distance as judgment, your awareness as danger, and they begin exposing themselves without realizing it. Humans are fascinating creatures. They reveal themselves through overreactions, through defensiveness, through unnecessary explanations, through anger that arrives too quickly, because confidence rarely panics, truth rarely screams, but deception gets nervous, deception becomes emotional, deception hates patience, and that's why some people fear those who understand human nature, not because understanding is evil, because understanding removes camouflage, and camouflage is precious to insecure minds. People can handle criticism. People can handle disagreement. People can even handle enemies. But being understood, being truly seen beneath the smile, beneath the excuses, beneath the carefully crafted personality, that's different. Because once the mask becomes visible, maintaining it becomes exhausting, and exhausted people become desperate. Desperate people become unpredictable. Unpredictable people become hostile. Not because you harmed them, not because you betrayed them, not because you destroyed them, but because somewhere deep inside, they realized something terrifying. They can fool the crowd. They can fool their friends. They can even fool themselves. But they can't fool someone who sees through every lie,